Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
That we have a right in this country to know the antecedents, for us to know the antecedents of our leaders in our country? You have a right. Soniya Gandhi, is that her real name? Her birth certificate says her name is Antonia Maino. Her passport application, Indian passport application, also gives the name as Antonia Maino. So why is this name Soniya Gandhi being used? All right, Gandhi I can understand, she married Rajiv. But why Sonia? Because Sonia is not even an Italian name. It's a Russian name. Antonia is an Italian name. So why is Soniya Gandhi's name, why has she taken the name Sonia? Where did this come? Lots of rumors are spread. But the reason is that her father was in jail for 4 years as a prisoner of war. He had signed up with Hitler's army. Hitler's army went into Russia. So in Vladimir, near St. Petersburg, he was taken prisoner and kept in jail for 4 years. But unlike in all other German soldiers, where Russians never released them before 20 years, in his case they released him in 4, which is taken to mean that he must have capitulated and agreed to become a member of the KGB, and that is why he was let off. So, therefore, he came back and changed, he gave the names of Russian names to all his children. Of course, there's one point which I don't want to really get into it because it's irrelevant, but I think I'll mention it. According to Soniya Gandhi's birth certificate, she was born on 9th December 1944. But at that time, her father was in jail in Russia. Now, unless like Jesus Christ, some mystery, some immaculate conception took place, I'm not able to explain how this is possible, that she claims her father is Stefano Maino, when her father was in jail at that time. That leads to another mystery. In parliamentary records, Ms. Soniya Gandhi says she was born in Orbassano, near Turin. But the birth certificate says she was born in Louisiana, which is on the border with Switzerland. It was a resort town for the German soldiers during war. So why should you hide your place of birth unless you don't want your birth certificate to be known or you don't want people to investigate? So I leave that as an area of speculation which not connected with the... Of course, if she comes on court cross-examination, then the lawyers have a legitimate right to ask her, where were you born, on which date, who is your father, and where was he at that time. These are all permitted cross-examination. It seems to be a problem with the Nehru family. Nobody knows who's his father and who's his mother. Now, another thing is says that Soniya Gandhi faked her degree, Cambridge University. Is that wrong? I got a letter from the University of Cambridge. She has given an affidavit, sworn affidavit as a candidate that I studied English in the University of Cambridge. And I got a letter from the University of Cambridge that there was no such student, ever. I went to court, and finally what the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court told me, be generous, Dr. Swami, be large-hearted, this is an old matter, leave it. Of course, subsequently, Soniya Gandhi has dropped from her affidavit the claim that she was educated in the University of Cambridge. That itself is an admission of perjury, because in one affidavit you say you were, and another affidavit you say you keep silent on it. It means that you have admitted perjury. But unfortunately, our society is not tough enough. In any other country, if you had faked your educational degree, or even in our country, an ordinary man gets an employment by faking his educational degree, he loses his job. and the Supreme Court has repeatedly upheld that one of the most heinous crimes is to fake your educational degree to get a job. And here, somebody who wants to rule the country has faked it. The only objection I have to Satya's advertisement in the New York Times is he says that she passed high school. She did not pass high school. Beyond 5th class, she did not study. In this, she shares a common educational background with Karunanidhi. Now, it says in the advertisement that she worked as an au pair. What did you work, miss? If you were not studying in the University of Cambridge, you were 5 years in England, how did you support yourself? Don't you think we have a right to ask this question? Even in marriages, we ask these questions. Where are you studying? Every detail is asked for. The antecedents are asked for. Why can't the antecedents of Soniya Gandhi be asked for? Where did you work? 5 years. Without a high school certificate, without a college degree. Where did you work in London? And for whom? The country has a right to know. I'm telling you, I have done an investigation. It is shocking what I found out. It is for her to say. If there's cross-examination, certainly she will be asked this question. Where did you work? Who were your employers? Can I not ask this question? If I apply for a job, the first thing they'll ask me who your previous employers were. And here you want to be the leader of the country. You have no right to ask this question. For that, they are putting a defamation case in order to silence you, so that you won't ask these questions again. In the citizenship question, is she a citizen of India? She is a registered citizen. She got the citizenship by registration. Of course, after almost 18 years, after being in India. But in the form which I got a photostat copy, which is there in my website, I've scanned it. It says, have you renounced your citizenship of that is Italy? And what does Soniya Gandhi write? Not applicable. Why? How can you write that? A junior officer objects to that. Say, no, you can't write that. You have to present a certificate from your government to say that you have renounced your Italian citizenship. She produces a letter from the ambassador of Italy in Delhi saying that Soniya Gandhi has informed us that she has renounced her citizenship. And Indira Gandhi orders that should be accepted. Under Section 10 of the Citizenship Act, any irregularity found at any time in the citizenship forms filled out by the person is an offense and can lead to the cancellation of citizenship. A new government in India, without Sonia's chamchas in it, can easily cancel her citizenship with one stroke of the pen. The Home Minister can write, I, having satisfied myself that Ms. Soniya Gandhi did not fill the application forms properly, hereby order the cancellation of her citizenship. So, her future is very bleak in this. But you can ask a question. She has connections with KGB. Well, I told you, her father was in jail. She is being accused by a person who was appointed as a member of a commission to investigate KGB affairs in Russia by President Yeltsin, who then wrote a book in which he said Rajiv Gandhi and her family were regular recipients of KGB money. And they were paid through companies set up by the family. It's there in black and white in Yevgeny Albat's book, The State Within State, the role of KGB in Russia. It's there in writing. And Yaviana Alberts came to Harvard to get a PhD, and I ran into her because every year I go to teach, and I saw her. I asked her. She said, yes, I saw the documents. Yeah, by President Yeltsin, who then wrote a book in which he said Rajiv Gandhi and her family were regular recipients of KGB money. And they were paid through companies set up by the family. It's there in black and white in Yevgeny Albert's book, The State Within State, the role of KGB in Russia. It's there in writing. And Yevgeny Alberts came to Harvard to get a PhD, and I ran into her because every year I go to teach, and I saw her. I asked her. She said, yes, I saw the documents. These were given to me as a member of the commission. Then I asked the Americans, do you have a record? They said, it's all there in the libraries. So I went to the Harvard Library, downloaded it, filed it in the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court then issued notice to the CBI. Go find out. The CBI came back and reported the Russians are ready to give the originals and attest the copies, provided we give them a letter rogatory, which is a communication from the courts of India to the government of Russia. And that letter rogatory cannot be obtained unless you register an FIR. But the government of India refused to register an FIR, and that is why my case went by abeyance. That case can be revived any time. So what is wrong in saying KGB? There's prima facie evidence. It's for her to prove or disprove. She had received $2 billion into her name in 1991. Who says this? The government of Switzerland. Why do they say it? Because the Americans put pressure on the Switzerland government to tell them about Marcos, Imelda Marcos, and whatever that other Marcos's name was. Ferdinand Marcos. And they put so much pressure that the Swiss authorities tabulated all foreign leaders who had accounts, illegal accounts, and they put the photograph of Rajiv Gandhi in a magazine called Schwester Illustrated. Schwester is another name for Switzerland in German. And that has in it a caption under Rajiv Gandhi's photo. He and his family owned $2 billion November 1991. And who was the beneficiary of Rajiv Gandhi's death? Soniya Gandhi. All that money has gone to her. All the money of Indira Gandhi, Soniya Gandhi. Most of the money of Sanjay Gandhi, Soniya Gandhi. Death is very profitable for Soniya Gandhi. I would say that any criminal case, the first suspect is always the beneficiary. Someday we may have to find out. So what is wrong in asking these questions? Antique smuggling. Her sister, Anushka, that's a Russian name. Her real name is Alexandria. But father gave the name Anushka. She has two shops in Italy. One is called Ethnica, means Rivolta, and another is called Ganapati, in the hometown of Soniya Gandhi's mother, or Bassano. And photographs have been produced, I've put it in court, and it shows antiques stolen from all over India. Who carted them there? The LTTE. People wouldn't believe me when I said that, but only now when the Italian government has announced that they have arrested 33 LTT persons in Italy, that people have come to know, maybe there is something after all. Quattrocchi used to sell weapons to the LTT. And LTT has a huge presence in Palermo and in Naples and Milan. Now, of course, the Americans have got tough with them, so all the European governments are now cracking down on them, including Canada. So, anyway, antique smuggling. Why should the sister of Soniya Gandhi have an antique shop in the first place of Indian antiques? So that these are smuggled, they will be kept in the shop, then they will prepare bogus bills and take it to London and auction it with Sotheby's and Christie's. This racket also I documented, court was convinced, issued notice to the CBI. CBI went to Italy, Italy wrote back, give us a letter rogatory. Need an FIR for that. Government of India said no. We will not register an FIR. The matter is there. No further. So these are things which should shock you. Our own national wealth being squandered like this, taken abroad, stolen, put on Air India flights, using your government power to see it is not inspected. These are the things you brought, that this is a bogus Gandhi. She's not a real Gandhi. I have only one dispute, by the way, with all these websites about the legitimacy of the parentage of various Nehrus and Gandhis. Rajiv Gandhi was not son of some Firoz Khan, as all these websites are putting out. He's the grandson of, or rather Firoz Gandhi was the son of a well-known lawyer of Allahabad called Kakkar. And Kakkar is also mayor of Allahabad, and once he defeated Jawaharlal Nehru in an election. So, of course, parentage has never been a strong point of the Nehrus, so we won't go into that. We get into a lot of complications. Similarly, the question of Rahul Gandhi. Why is he registered as Raul Vinci, R-A-U-L-V-I-N-C-I, in some rock and roll Rollins College in Orlando or some place like that, which is a Christian missionary college? Why didn't he register himself as Rahul Gandhi? Why is it that he claims he's got an MPhil? Now I'm not there as a student also. Then his name is not there in the exam and the registrar's office of those who have taken exam. For the year he has mentioned, 95. So how did he claim he's MPhil? He first originally came, he went to Harvard. Yes, he went to Harvard in the sense that when Rajiv Gandhi is Prime Minister, Hindujas gave $11 million to the Harvard Medical School, and on donors quota. He entered. Harvard has this quota, but then once you enter, then you have to compete. In 3 months, Harvard said, I don't think you really belong here. So he dropped out. So now he doesn't use the word Harvard. Unfortunately for him, someone like me is in politics in India who has long-standing connections with Harvard. Why do you tell lies like this? Because in our country we respect education. We respect the Pandit. So you tell a lie about your education. All of us work so hard to pass examinations, get a degree. These guys don't do anything and they put themselves a degree in front. Is Rahul a citizen of India? Well, he was born in India. But then the Italian law says that if your mother is an Italian citizen at the time of your birth, which is 1970, which time Soniya Gandhi was a citizen, then you automatically become a citizen of Italy. And the law in India says you cannot be a citizen of India unless you renounce the citizenship of another country. Rahul Gandhi has never renounced that citizenship because you are required by law to declare and give a certificate from the Italian government, I have renounced my citizenship. In fact, he uses an Italian passport in the name of Raul Vinci. Any time tomorrow a government comes to power which is doesn't have their sycophants in that government, or those who are blackmailed by them in the government, then you will see Rahul Gandhi also, you can send him off saying, you're not a citizen of India.
One of the things that they have secretly kept, which I fortunately got now, Rahul Gandhi had gone and got admission in St. Stephen's College on two grounds. A, he was a Christian, in record, and B, he was a marksman rifle shooter. So on the sportsman quota he was given admission, not on grades. But he failed there because he couldn't pass the Hindi exam. And he is representing the state of Uttar Pradesh today. This is the person who needs to be shown that he has nothing to do with Gandhi. Gandhi was a man who became barrister, made a name as a lawyer in South Africa, gave it all up for the country. And you come with using that name, the Indians have a right to say you are an imposter, you don't belong here. Rahul Gandhi was arrested in Boston airport. He had $160,000 in cash. In the United States, you can't enter with $10,000, more than $10,000 without declaring it. Didn't declare it. Got caught. He had with him a friend by name Veronique Cartelli, citizen, passport holder of Spain, father Colombian. Cartelli means drug mafia. And he had something else with him, which has not been identified. The FBI arrested him. 27th September 2001. They said the SPG, which they have, like the royal family, all the families, including their dogs, get SPG cover. So the SPG said, no, he's the son of the former Prime Minister. The FBI said, we don't care. He's broken the law. 9 hours they kept him. The government of India intervened. Condoleezza Rice was told this would affect the Indo-US relationship. And then the FBI was told, let him go. The FBI registered an FIR, the equivalent of an FIR. I don't know what they call it here, criminal case or whatever. And they said, whenever you want, we can call you, but you can go. So they let him off to go back. I wrote, my friends here filed a Right to Information or Freedom of Information Act application with the FBI. FBI said, we'll give you these records, provided you get a no objection certificate from Rahul Gandhi because it's personal to him. That's the law. So I wrote a letter to Rahul Gandhi. If you have nothing to hide, give us the permission. He never replied. But everybody knows this is in record. There's nothing to hide here. $160,000 in cash. How do you carry so much cash and what for? The only thing to we Indians have a right to know whether Rahul Gandhi is married or not. In his house in Tughlaq Road, Tughlaq Lane, there is a foreign woman there. Her name is Veronique Cartelli. Is he married to her or not married to her? Or is he living with her? Can you not make that public? What will people of India think? Rajiv Gandhi's wife foreigner, Rahul Gandhi's wife foreigner. Can they not find Indian girls at all? And what about the antecedents of this Veronique? The daughter of drug mafia? So we need to know. These are things we need to know. Even in marriages, I said, we find out these things. The advantage of an Indian is, I can go to my village and find out, to the village of the person and find out everything about him. I meet so many people say, oh, I'm from Madurai, I know you're from Mullipalam village and you are living in you have a house in Agraharam street, everything. Everybody knows about everything. You can trace people. But when you're a foreigner, you have to be doubly careful. They have to be doubly watchful. Ever since Soniya Gandhi came to power, we find that the Hindu values are being degraded. Shankaracharya being arrested. Of course, Janita was the chief minister, but we know what extraordinary pressures were applied from Delhi. She should not have capitulated, but she did. In any case, she should not have put Shankaracharya in jail, because the criminal law provides for house arrest. They could have told the Shankaracharya, please stay in the ashram till the investigations are over. Somebody gives you a criminal complaint, you are bound to register it. I'm not saying don't register it. But why did you put him in jail with the criminals? But I know the pressure came from there. The arrest was done on Diwali day in Andhra Pradesh. Any time they could have said, the chief minister could have said, why Diwali day? Wait for 2 more days. Or in 2 days he was going back to Madras anyway.